This is a collage of some of my pattern paper that I put together. Didn't that come out very pretty? All kinds of flowers and butterflies and floral odds and ends in these papers. And I can collage them together on this digital paper. And then I sprayed like a little glitter gloss on there also. So each of these papers has some of these color elements in them. So this is what the front and back of one of the files will look like. This will be the front of it, and it'll fold down the middle, and this will be the back portion. And inside is one of the prints of the collage. So I cut these off to measure about 4 1/4 by about 5.5 inches tall. The book itself will be just a smidge bigger, about 6 inches tall by about 4 3/4 wide. And the spine is about 1 1/4 inches thick. So on each of these I printed a solid on one side and a print on the other. Consider that the solid, even though it's a little distressed looking, and a flower on the other side. And then I made some different sheets so I can make some of the components of the junk journal here. These will be some trifolds that will go inside of the junk journal. Another trifolds. And here's some pockets and sleeves for the inside. And I kept what I cut out of the folders here. I figured I could use some of this for some of the tags. Some more just of the solids here. Can't go wrong with plenty of solids. I probably printed off more than I needed, but I'd rather be prepared for what I might need than not have enough and have to go stop and print some. Then I went ahead and printed out some additional folders here with like some embedded junk journal writing areas in here, and it's got a print on one side, some more areas to write on this one, and a little ticket stub, another area to write, and more pockets and sleeves, things for in little areas for tags, and another trifold, some pocket, and some tags and pictures here. And I thought this came out really pretty. And one of the folios I'm going to put a distressed paper in. Instead of crinkling up my paper, I went ahead and printed copies of pictures of crinkled paper. So each one of these is slightly different. My printer actually crinkled some of these for me. So this came out pretty interesting here. And another of the solid of the collage. All right, I think we got enough here to get started. I can always stop and print some more if we need to, or just grab from my cardstock supply. Got a lot of findings and elements and stuff we're going to add to this, and hopefully I don't overdo it, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Come join me. Cut and trim my wrinkled papers and pinned them together. I marked a line down through the middle, and I made a template where I'm going to sew these together onto the binding of the folio. That way I can make sure that they all match each other, and I can put it on the spine and have it match. So I put that there. So this is where I'm going to punch the holes. I'm just going to run this across the sewing machine real quick because I like it a little bit more stable, and then we'll put it together. This is my wrinkled page portion of my signature sewed together in the middle. I'm going to punch those 3 holes in here, and this is folder cover for this that I'm going to put over it. And when it goes in, this will be one of the signatures in the journal. That looks pretty cool already. All right, so I don't have a fancy hole puncher or anything, but I do have these little leather punches, and I'm going to use these to punch the holes in my paper. So a little punch board, and I'm just going to line that up right over one of the marks that I made with my template. Punch the hole in. And one more down here. All right. Now in this little folder cover, I'm going to get the template and line up along that crease that I made. And I cut this template the same height as my folder, so I know how to exactly line this up. And so with a pencil, I'm just going to mark. We're going to punch those holes. Okay, now I'm just going to run a little beaded glue down this to help hold this in place. That'll make it a little more secure in my journal. And I like this glue here, Barely Art Precision Craft Glue. It dries really quick, and it does a nice small little bead. I'm just going to line these little holes up with that on my folder. And I'm going to set this aside and let that dry. And let's work on the next signature. All right, my next signature consists of 3 of these file folders, and they have little tabs on the side. And once they're folded together, there'll be 6 tabs down the side of this little folder here. And inside I'll put some pockets, interesting ephemera in this particular signature here. What I need to do is put a score line down through here. And I'm just going to get my straight edge ruler. And I have these little marks in these folders exactly where the middle is. It kind of goes down into a V right there. And so I'm just going to make a score mark right down through there. And that helps it fold exactly where I need it to. There's one down. And let's do the next one here. Line that up again. And fold that one. And the last one here. All right, so these will go in here just like that, and you can see those little tabs down the side. And so what I'm going to do next is get my template and mark where I need those 3 holes. I'm going to do that to each of my 3 folders here. Line up the line I made here on my template with fold mark on my folder. I'm going to punch the 3 holes in each one of these like I did the other folder. Alright, now I'm going to run a bead of glue down each one of these, and that will help secure them together. Lining up those 3 little holes. Here we go. A little bead of glue on this one. Okay, pressing those together nice and firm. Alright, let that one dry. Set that over here. Here's my 3rd signature. I went ahead and cut out and punched out the holes in this one. I'm going to go ahead and run the bead of glue down the center of this one, and then I'm going to stitch just a little bit of sewing down this just for extra reinforcement after the glue dries. Line those holes up there. Bead of glue. And once I get that little stitch sewn in there, these will be ready to start putting together. Here are my 3 signatures I'll be using in my junk journal. Here's the first one. Just blank pages on cardstock with the printed solid colors. And the middle one I'm going to be using the one with paper. This is some old brochure paper that I found, and I printed out this crinkled paper texture look onto these. And then this last one, I put some elements in here for a little bit of writing on some of the pages. And they'll go together inside my junk journal just like that, my 3 signatures. I think I'm off to a good start. Tie that there, so I'm left a little bit on the other side. And I'm going to grab my signatures. One in the middle is going to be this one here. Thread that through here. And this will go into the center one. At the top. And back out through the middle again. Feels nice and secure. I'm gonna lay this flat. Nice and snug, and I'm going to tie a knot in here on the back side. Alright, got the first one in. Repeat that with the other two. I think my camera shut off there. I'm getting ready to put the third signature in right now. I'm just going to get it strung through the third hole. And this one here is directional, so I want to make sure this one is facing the top. And so I'm just going to go ahead and thread that through the middle. And loosely thread it through this one. And through the top indent. There we go. Now, get that a little secure there. There we go. And you can see my strings here on the other two. I'll get those out of the way a bit. And I'm going to go down here to the third one. Insert that in and go through that signature there at the top. Get all my strings out here so they're not tangled up. Pull that through so it's nice and snug. Back through the middle again. Now on this side, I see my first set of strings are on the bottom side of the main string, so the second one I'm going to go through the top of it, so when I tie a knot it has something a little more secure to hang on to. So when it comes through here, I'm just going to guide it so it comes out on the other side of that string. Alright, just going to lay this down nice and flat. Pull nice and tight. Cut that needle off there. And tie these strings together. There we go. There we go. Got all three knots there. Now I'd like to get this conch here and incorporate it right into the middle and tie these strings around it. So I'm going to make this hole just a little bit bigger so I can get that screw through there. Pick right here. And I'm just making that hole a little bigger. Yeah. Alright, I end up putting that little screw not through the center of the second signature but right underneath it because they're just too thick otherwise. And this is what it looks like on the back side. So what I'm going to do is cut most of this string off and just kind of have it come down like a little tassel. What do you think? 3 signatures. Got our first one here, then our second one with the paper, crumpled paper, and then the third one with some extra added pizzazz. Now we're ready to decorate the inside.